Okay, when you're ready, we're going to start seated today. So we're going to start in Sukhasana, so our easy pose. If you've got a block, then it might be handy because we're going to do a few forward folds today. So you can just have it handy, and if it's a flatter block, you could sit on it if you wanted to in Sukhasana, or a folded up blanket or something might be enough. But we'll just sit with the legs crossed. Again, if that is not comfortable, then please feel free to adjust your position and sit in it anyway. But if you can, we'll just cross the legs and then sitting upright through your spine. We're going to come into a mudra. The mudra is called Dhyana mudra. So we're going to take your right hand and just place it between your legs with the palm facing up. And then the left hand just pops on top of that. So you've got one palm on top of the other, so your palms are shining up. And then drop the shoulders down your back. And you can either lower your gaze or close your eyes. It's really entirely up to you. The Dhyana mudra is a hand gesture which helps us to deal with either anger or tension. Just sitting here helps us become a little bit more peaceful. And that combined with the breath. So start to notice your breath here. Just allowing it to move easily, just in and out through your nose. Just allowing the breath to smooth out. And as it becomes smoother, you just begin to notice your body here. So just how it feels. So if it feels tight, then you could adjust it a little bit. But just notice if you're holding on to any tension and try and allow that to release. So the whole purpose of yoga asana is to allow us to sit comfortably like this, to be able to meditate in this position. So it is an important posture to get, but not always that comfortable, but we try and make the best of it and try to allow our body to soften a little. So this week's practice is based on the clock change last week, so it's called Spring Forward. And it's really just being aware of the impact of the change of the clocks has on our bodies and how we feel. Apparently the change to the clocks in the spring is much more impactful than the one in the autumn when we gain the hour back. Although that the one in the autumn, you might feel it's, we're getting less sunshine, we can suffer from SAD and stuff, but basically the one in the spring is where most accidents happen after it. So, car collisions, all the rest of it, all these things increase around the changing of the clocks. Even things like heart attacks. So it is a stressful thing for us. And the mudra that we're using is to alleviate the anger that we might feel at having to, or not being able to get to sleep at night and then having to get up an hour earlier in the morning. So when you're ready, we'll start to move a little bit. So you can open your eyes, you can release your hands, and if you want to change the cross of your legs, if you just bring the other leg in front. And then we'll start to move a little bit. So just when you're ready, working with your breath, on an inhale, we'll start to reach the arms up. So you can just reach up on that inhale. And then on the exhale, just slowly release the hands all the way back down again. Do that again, so inhale up, which stretch through the side of your body, shoulders down. Exhale, press the arms down. Okay, we'll do that once more. So reaching up and exhale down. We're coming for a twist, so we're going to move round towards the right. If you take your left hand on your right knee and then take your right fingertips behind you. So using your right hand to lengthen and the left hand to very gently draw around. So we're not taking it that far here, just a gentle stretch, just to start to move the body a little bit. When you're ready, inhale back into the centre. And then we'll just take it round the other way. So just slowly rotate round. See how it feels. Feels a bit more open. You can move round further, but without force. When you're ready, inhale back into the middle. Again, we'll take the arms up one more time. So inhale, reaching up with the arms. This time we're going to fold forward. So you're just going to fold towards your legs. Just take your time as you move down. You release the hands down and say hello to your hips. You might feel the hips stretching a little bit here. Again, just taking it gently, coming up a little bit if you need to. Soften a little bit more into it if you can. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly start to come back up. So you can just walk your hands back towards your feet. So from here, we're going to move to all fours. You can just take your time as uncrossing your legs and taking yourself round to that all fours position. So as you come in, we'll spread the hands under the shoulders and the knees underneath your hips. We'll take a few cat-cow movements here. So on the inhale, just drop the belly and start to pull forwards through your chest. And then on that exhale, we'll round in through the upper back and shoulders. Just doing that again, working at your own speed. Checking in with your spine, warming up a little bit through the front of your body. Okay, we'll do one more of these. We'll come back in towards the middle when you're ready. And then this time we're going to move forwards and back a little bit. So when you're ready, on an inhale, start to float forwards over your wrists a little. So you can just see how it feels. And then on the exhale, we'll start to move the hips so back towards your heels. Again, to any degree here. So we'll do that again. So just inhale, start to float forward, take your time. Exhale, start to press yourself back. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So again, just take your time. When you're ready, come back in towards the center. So just as if you're back into that all fours. This time we're going to circle round. So you could go up and over your left and your right wrist, and then back towards that right and left hip. So we're just circling around in our own way. Any degrees, you can move further or less. And then just when you're ready, start to change direction. So go around the opposite way. Okay, we'll make our way back in towards the centre once more. And then this time we're going to come into our first downward dog. So we're going to tuck the toes under and start to press the hips up. As you come into it, adjust your feet, maybe bend into one leg and then through the other. Just see how that all feels. When you're ready, come back into the centre. We're going to try a little crouching down dog today. So on an inhale, we're going to lift the heels up. And then you're going to bend your knees, but you're going to try and keep the hips pretty high as you lower the knees, so the hips are still kind of pressing up. You don't have to touch them down, it's just still bending in the knees. And on the exhale, start to lift back up again and press the heels back down towards the mat. So do that again. So inhale, lift your heels up, draw your belly in, and start to keep the hips high, but bend your knees a little bit. As you exhale, start to press all the way back to downward dog. We'll do that one more time. So inhale, lift your heels up, moving forwards, bend the knees a little bit. Exhale, pressing back. Now this time on your inhale, we're just going to lift the heels up, but we'll look forwards and just walk up towards the top of your mat. So take your time walking your feet up. And as you come to the top, separate your feet hip distance and bend your knees. If you want to, you could place your hands on your legs for support, or you could use your block. If you're happy enough, you can let the arms go and then just take hold of opposite elbows, and then you can just very gently sway side to side. If that doesn't feel like a nice thing for you, then definitely just keep your hands just onto your legs and bend your knees and come up whenever you need to. Okay, from there, we'll release the hands back down. We're going to come up like a rag doll today. So you're going to draw your belly in. We allow the upper body to be heavy, and we just slowly draw ourselves up. So kind of restacking your spine as you come up, and then drawing the shoulders back and releasing the hands down by your sides. And this is called Samastitihi. So it's our equal standing, equal balance. So we have our feet about hip distance, we spread the toes. It's a little bit like mountain pose, but it has a slightly different name, a slightly different posture with your feet. And then from here, we're going to inhale, we're going to reach up with the arms. Staying at the top, you're going to take hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and we're just going to very gently move over towards the right side. So just getting a little side stretch. Keep your feet pressing equally as you do that. And breathe into that left side body. Inhale back into the center. On the exhale, we'll just change sides. So take hold of your right wrist, start to draw yourself across, making sure you're not leaning either forwards or back. Keep just moving to the side. Okay, inhale back and towards the center. Release your arms down by your side. Now this time, if you can, we're going to take your right foot behind the back of the left foot. So we kind of cross it over behind. And as you do that, try and keep both feet on the ground. You can definitely bend your knees a little bit here. You don't have to have them straight. But draw your belly in. And if you want to just reach your left hand just down that left side. If you want a little bit more, reach your right arm up and over. So we're coming into that twist. So basically your right foot is just behind and both feet are flat. So just a little side stretch again, reaching to your fingertips. Okay, when you're ready, back and towards the center. So releasing your arm, step the feet, so about hip distance apart again. So we'll do that with the left leg. So stepping that left foot behind the right, both feet down, bend your knees if you need to. And then from there, again, maybe just stretch down with your right hand. And if you want to, you can reach up and over through the left fingertips. And keeping yourself towards the side without any tilt forwards or back. And breathe into it. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release. And release the legs. Now this time we'll come into Tadasana. So up towards the top of your mat. If you want to, you can bring your feet close together now. If it still suits you to have a gap between your feet, then definitely do that. So lift through your legs, draw your belly in, relax the shoulders down your spine. As you inhale here, we'll reach up with both arms. On the exhale, folding forwards towards your legs, and maybe bending into your knees a lot as you come down. As you inhale, pull your heart forward, so coming up halfway. And on the exhale, take your hands down and step back with your right leg. As you do that, we're going to lower the right knee towards the ground. And you might slide the right leg back a little bit if you want a little bit more of a stretch through your hips. You could keep your hands on the ground here, so if that suits you, then definitely do that. Otherwise, as you inhale, lift your chest up and reach up with your arms. Again, stay here if you'd like, or take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and start to draw over towards that left side. And as you do that, really press down through your left foot and really pull in through your left knee so you're not allowing yourself to lean or to fall over, which would be worse. When you're ready, on your inhale, we'll reach back up with both arms. On the exhale, release your hands down towards the ground. Tuck the toes under on that right knee, leg and lift the knee off the ground. Get back to plank. And lower your knees here, and then we'll bend your elbows and we'll lower all the way down to the ground. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, come up, just a little cobra. And then on the exhale, we'll make our way back. So you can either move to child's pose here, or you could press your hips back and lift up to downward dog. So it's your choice. You can stay, we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So you might want to do a few of them in child's pose. It's really up to you. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, start to push up and out of your shoulders, up and out of your legs even. Try and draw the belly in to support the back. So if you're in child's pose, you might want to start moving into downward facing dog. And then when we get there, we're going to lift the heels up. And then we're just going to either walk or step towards the top of your mat. So you can take your time, moving yourself towards the top, and then fold towards your legs again. So maybe you have your hands on your legs. And then as you inhale, we'll start to roll and rise up. So draw your belly in and start to roll all the way up towards the top. As you get there, release your shoulders down your back, hands by your sides. So we'll come in and we'll try that on the other side. So when you're ready, as you inhale, we'll start to reach with your arms again. On the exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, hands down. And we'll step back with your left leg. So as you step back, lower the knee. Maybe slide the left foot back a little bit. Make sure your knee is over your ankle on your front leg. And stay here if that feels better. Otherwise, inhale, lifting up, reaching up with your arms. And this time, if you can, take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Start to draw yourself over to the right side a little bit. Stabilizing yourself with that right foot. Drawing the right knee in. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Going back to the center, reach up with your arms. And on the exhale, release the hands towards the mat. When you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your back knee. Step to plank and lower your knees towards the mat. Slowly bend your elbows, lower yourself down. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, lifting your chest. On the exhale, make your way back to that child's pose or into downward facing dog, your choice. Again, if you're in child's pose, move to downward facing dog. And then as you inhale, lift your heels looking forwards, step or walk towards the top of your mat, taking your time. Fold towards your legs. As you inhale, slowly rolling and rising all the way back up towards the top. Restacking your spine, rolling your shoulders back, lifting your chest up. Release the arms. Okay, so one of the ways that we can combat any kind of lethargy that we feel as the clocks change is to do some sun salutations. So they're not your favorite, then you can always modify them or leave them out, but we're going to do a few of them just to get our body moving and our muscles warmed up. So we'll spread the toes again, maybe bring your feet together if you'd like. Lengthen the legs, relax the shoulders. As you inhale, reaching up with your arms. On the exhale, fold towards your legs. Lengthen your spine forwards. And on the exhale, take the hands down and we'll just step back with both feet into that plank position. You can still lower your knees here if you like when you get there. Otherwise, bend your elbows halfway to chaturanga. As you inhale, upward facing or cobra. On the exhale, we'll make our way back, downward facing dog. We're just going to take 3 breaths here. So just breathing in through your nose, out through your nose if you can, and modify if you need to. So it's your choice. You work where you want to. Okay, we'll take one more full round of breath. And then on your next inhale, lift your heels up, looking forwards, make your way up towards the top. So taking the same care. So walking up, stepping up, it's up to you. Maybe fold towards your legs for a moment. And then on the inhale, we'll start to roll and rise up. We're going to continue with a reach through your arms. So start to reach up with your arms. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. So we'll do that again. So inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Pull your heart forwards. Take the hands back down and make your way back to plank. As you get there, take care of yourself, so lower your knees or bend your elbows. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, make your way back. When you get there, maybe you release some tension by taking a deep inhale through your nose and then just sighing it out your mouth. Then one more full round of breath. On your next inhale, lift your heels up, looking forwards. Make your way up towards your hands. Hold in a little bit more if you can. As you inhale, draw the belly in, start to lift up. Reaching all the way up with the hands. Hands at the heart. Maybe just close your eyes just for a moment. See how you feel as you come up to standing. Okay, release the hands, we'll open the eyes. We're going to come into our standing posture today just by stepping back. So if you want to separate your feet into that Samasthiti position first, so the feet a little bit wider in our Tadasana. Spread your toes and then we'll step back with your right leg to warrior 2. So as you step back, you've got plenty of opportunity to adjust your feet and your legs. So you can move your right foot back a little bit, maybe turn the toes towards the long edge of your mat, maybe adjust your front foot. If you're interested in alignment, the heel of the front foot aligns to the instep of the back foot. That doesn't work for everybody, so you just have to work with what feels right rather than what looks right. And then start to sink into it a little bit. So building from the bottom up. So use your feet, try to then adjust your legs and your hips, and then maybe add the arms. Stretching through your fingers, drawing your shoulders back, and your drishti is along your front hand. So start to feel the balance through the posture. Start to feel the energy moving up through your feet, through your hips, continuing through the upper body. And breathe there. We'll take one more inhale. We're going to move into triangle. So we're going to start to straighten your front leg. You may need to hop your back foot in, so just move it in a little bit. Maybe push a little bit back through that right hip, lengthening over the leg, release your hand down, reaching up. So you might not get very far. You might not want to go very far. You just move into what feels right to you. And we're just trying to get a side body stretch. You can imagine that you're between two sheets of glass here, so nothing should be poking out. It should all be pretty flat. Okay, so that's kind of what we're aiming for, that flatness of the body. And the top arm aligns with the bottom arm, wherever that happens to be. If that doesn't feel right to you, then maybe bend that back, the top arm, the right arm, behind your back, and use that just to draw the shoulder back. Remember, it's about how it feels. It's not about how it looks. So concentrate on how it feels in your body. Do you feel the stretch? Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. We'll start to move back up. So slowly and carefully rise back up. Reach to your fingertips once more. And this time, turn your left toes towards the long edge of your mat. So we're going to come in for the first of a few forward folds here. So make sure your feet feel comfortable. As you inhale, we'll reach up with the arms. And on the exhale, we'll start to fold forward. So you might just take your hands to your legs here. That might be enough. It might feel nice there. If you want to, you can release the upper body. And you might grab your block. And to any height, just have it in front of you. And just use that to support yourself, maybe to move forwards a little bit. So we adjust the weight slightly so it moves more towards the balls of your feet, but without it feeling that you're lifting your heels up. You just want to fold in. Good. And allow yourself to relax. So the forward folds are included here because they're really kind of soothing. They allow us to release and relax a little bit. We still have to work hard. We're still, lifting the belly and trying to lift the hips up a little bit. But you could maybe release your head a little bit and relax into that. And as we relax, the muscles then release their hold. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move out of this. So take your time, maybe bend your knees or just draw your belly in and start to roll and rise all the way back up towards the top. As you come up towards the top, we're going to come in for a forward fold, but not towards the front. We're going to move to the side again. So we'll turn your left foot just up towards the top edge of your mat. You will have to take a step in with your back foot. So if you step it forwards, and then when you do that, turn the toes of your right foot so they also face up towards that short edge. The other thing you may need to do is to move your left foot out to the side because it's often too narrow. So you can walk it out as much as you need to so you can turn your hips and your shoulders. So it's a little bit like warrior one, but we're keeping the legs straight if you can. And then we're going to lift the chest and the belly and we're going to move forwards. So you might just come forwards a little bit. And the idea is to keep the spine long. So from here, you could keep your hands just on your hips, draw your legs together. And then if you want to, you can take your hands behind your back. So there's a couple of options here. You could just take your hands and grab hold of the opposite elbows. You could take your fists together at the back. So we join the fists. And if you feel it comfortable, feel it open to you, you can take a reverse namaskar. So that's our prayer position, but behind our back. And it really just depends on your shoulders. If your shoulders are really tight, it might not feel that nice, but it does give us a nice stretch across the shoulders. But keep drawing in through your belly. Keep lengthening through your spine. And just watch your left hip doesn't kind of push out to the side. Draw it in towards the middle. So use your inner thighs here a lot. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Start to rise up again. And then release your hands when you get to the top. Maybe roll your shoulders a little bit. And then we'll turn your left toes towards the long edge of your mat again. As you do that, you may need to widen your feet a little bit because we did narrow them when we moved into that other forward fold. And we're going to come in for another wide legged one. And if you want to, you can just do the same one that you did previously. If you want a little change, we're going to take the hands onto your hips. And we're going to do it from there. So again, when you get down, if it doesn't feel right, just release your hands. But lift your belly and your chest. Start to fold forward. Again, you might just stay here. You might release the upper body down. And if you do that, try not to let the elbows drop down, but draw them back in line with your shoulders. So not pulling back like kind of a bird, but just in line with your shoulders. Good. And let the upper body fold in again. So the idea with our hands on our hips here is to try to allow the body to move to the same position that it was in when we had our hands down. And if it doesn't feel nice having your hands here, then definitely take your hands back to a block. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll start to move up again. So again, bend your knees if you need to, draw your belly in, start to roll and rise all the way back up towards the top. As you get there, release your hands, and then we'll turn the toes of your left foot up towards the top edge of your mat again, re-bending into your knee, and then release the hands all the way down towards the mat. As you do that, turn on the toes of your back leg, so you're in this lunge. And then when you're ready, we'll step up towards the top of your mat. As you come up, we're in this forward fold again. We'll start to pull your belly in and start to roll and rise all the way up towards the top. And if you want to, continue reaching up with your hands and draw the hands together in front of your heart. And maybe just close your eyes. Notice how that side of your body's feeling. So notice where you feel it. And it's always relevant, so it's not necessarily what I say you would feel it, it's just where you feel it, and that's just as it is. Okay, we'll try the other side. So I'm going to turn around, but you can stay exactly where you are if you want to. We'll keep your feet together or separate them. In fact, I'm going to take mine apart, because it's often easier to step back with your feet a little bit wider. And then this time we'll step back with our left foot. So into warrior two again. So as you step back again, you know, you have plenty of opportunity to adjust your feet and your legs here. So make sure your toes on the front foot face forward. The back toes turn towards that long edge. Sink into your legs. Maybe adjust that a little bit. Make sure your knee is drawing out. Open your hips. Maybe lift the arms. And feel the energy. So start to feel the energy increasing as you put a little bit more into it. So stretching through your fingers a little bit more, drawing your shoulder blades together at the back a little bit more. You bend into that front leg a little more, you know, without force. Do it because it feels good. So finding our drishti and our breath. Moving in with your mind. So keeping your mind present is the trickiest bit of it all. Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. So we'll start to move into our triangle. So again, straighten through your front leg, maybe move your back foot in a little bit if that feels more appropriate to you. And then push away through that left hip. Start to lengthen over your right leg. So again, come in easily. So we come into like about 70%. And then once we get into it, maybe you move into it a little bit more. But listening to your body as you do it. So not just moving in because you think, well, I've moved in a little, so I'm going to go further. You know, listen in, see how it feels as you come in. And if it doesn't feel right, you stay where you are. How does it feel? Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Start to move back up again, so taking your time. From there, we'll turn the right toes towards the long edge of your mat. Again, adjust anything that you need to. Reach up with your arms again. And this time, if you want to, you don't have to. We're going to take the hands behind your back. We're going to interlink your fingers. Draw the shoulders back, lift your chest, and fold forward from there. Again, when you get down, if you think, well, that really doesn't feel right to me, then release your hands and put them on your block. If it does, allow the upper body to fold in. Maybe move your hands over. So we lift the hands away from the lower back and we move them forwards. Again, these things might not be appropriate or feel good, and if they don't, then why would you do them? These 4 variations in our forward folds that we're doing today are from the Ashtanga practice. So they do them in sequence, so they do one after the other, and they all have a different purpose. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up. So you can keep your hands where they are, pull your belly in, lift up, or you can release your hands. It's really up to you as you come back up. Release your hands when you get up, maybe roll your shoulders a little bit. And then from here, we'll turn the right toes up towards the short edge of your mat. So again, we're coming back in for Parsvottanasana, which is a forward fold. So we'll hop the back foot in a few steps, so whatever it takes for you. Keeping that front leg straight, we'll start to move it out towards the right side of your mat a little bit more to give you more space to enable you to turn your shoulders and your hips forwards. So we'll lift the belly and the chest, we'll start to move in. So you might just come to the same position that you were in before. So hands to the hips, hands to the thighs, maybe just stay there and lengthen your spine. If you want a little bit more, you could use your blocks here. So you can have them in front of that right foot or just to the side of it and place your hands onto the block. So that might be useful. The other thing you can do is take your hands to the ground and then just to fold in from there. Again, just watch out for that right hip, just moving out slightly to the side and squeeze it towards the center and work where it feels right, where you can breathe, where you can stay for a few moments in stillness and in peace. So you have to be calm to be able to stay there. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move back up. So draw your belly in and start to rise up towards the top again. Take your time. And when you get to the top, we'll turn your right toes towards that long edge of the mat. So again, turning the right toes and the left toes forward. You might need to widen your feet a little bit. So our last forward fold in this position. So we'll inhale to reach and exhale fold. So you might just take your hands onto your legs again. So this time the option is hands onto the block, the floor, or if you want to, you could hook your 2 peace fingers to the inside of your big toe and use the thumb to close that off. And then we can use the arms to then bend a little bit and to draw ourselves in. If it doesn't feel appropriate, then you just wouldn't do it. You work where it feels right, where you're getting some benefit from it. And allow the weight to move forwards. Allow the belly to pull in to support your low back. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release the bind if you have it. We'll start to move up. So again, draw your belly in, maybe bend your knees. Roll and rise all the way up. When you get there, turn your toes of that right foot towards the top edge of your mat, rebending the right leg. Release the hands, turn the toes on the left leg, so we're up onto the toes. And then from there, we'll step towards the top of your mat. So as you come in, again, separate your feet, bend your knees, draw your belly in, and as you inhale, slowly start to roll up. So taking your time, a little bit of time, and then continuing with the arms. Reach them up, or the palms, close your eyes. And just notice how your body feels. Also notice where your mind is. So is it running forwards or backwards, or is it with you, present? Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So our balance today is a half chair. So, you just work where you can. A block is maybe a little bit useful here, and a wall is always handy. So if you've got one of those, you can use one. So we're going to come in for a little half chair. If you're using a wall, just make sure you're kind of standing against it with your back against it. We'll separate the feet hip distance. If you've got your block, just have it to the left side of here. So we'll stand on your right leg. We're going to draw the belly in. We're going to bend into the right leg a little bit. And option-wise, you could just stay here with your left heel lifted off the ground. Just bring your hands towards your chest and you're just bending in. If you want to, you could put that foot just onto a block and then you could sink into it there. If you can manage, you could lift up through your left leg, flex your foot and place it onto your thigh, wherever you can. And that gives us that kind of figure four position. And then all we're going to do today is to start to move into that right leg. So we're going to bend into it, keeping the chest lifted, the belly pulled in, just breathing deeply. Okay. And if you want to stay with that, this is where you're just going to hold and stay and find your breath. If you wanted to, you could come forward, so the hands can go onto the leg, the hands can even move down towards a block. But in that one, we don't bend the hip, but we lift the hips up to take the hands down. Again, you just work where it feels right, staying here if that's more appropriate for you. And lift your chest, lower the hips. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So if you're down on the ground, you might want to lift your hands up off the ground. If you're here, then we'll start to just straighten the leg, maybe lifting up through that left knee. Release your feet. Okay, separate your feet at distance. Relax your shoulders. We are going to come in for a forward fold here. So again, if you've got your block, just have it between your legs at any height. And as you inhale, we'll reach back up with the arms. And on the exhale, we'll fold forwards. And as you come in, maybe your hands just go to the block. Maybe you bend your knees. If your hands are easily on the ground here, you can take the same bind that you had when you had your legs wide. So the two-piece fingers, hook to the inside of your big toe, and the thumb connects, and the elbows bend, and we draw ourselves in. Whatever suits you and feels right to you. Just breathing deeply, allowing that sense of calm and stillness to come over us. Okay, when you're ready, if you've got hold of your toes, then release them. And then we'll just slowly roll up again. So drawing your belly in, rolling yourself all the way back up. Maybe continue that reach up with the arms, palms to the heart. Okay, we'll try that little chair on the other side. So again, close to a wall. If you're using your block, move it to the right side. And if you want to, you can just separate your feet, stand on your left leg, and just lift your right heel up. So hands towards the center, bending in to that left leg. If you want to place your foot on the block, then do that. If you can manage to flex your foot and place it onto your thigh, then do that. And we flex the foot and we push gently away with that right knee. And then start to sink through your left leg. Again, just take it to any degree here. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're just trying to see how it feels. And find your breath. Find your gaze. Notice where your mind goes. You know, balanced postures help us to concentrate the mind, help us to focus our attention so it's not wandering off. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move back up, so take your time. Again, if you're straightening through that leg, maybe lift up through your knee and release your feet. This time we'll just bring the hands together, the feet together. Close your eyes for a moment. Just noticing how everything feels. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we're going to come down to the ground, but we're going to come down through Malasana, our yogi squat. So we'll separate your feet quite wide and we'll turn the toes out. So as you do that, you might just bend your knees and just place your hands onto your thighs. Just move your hips just a little bit from side to side so you can see how that feels. If you want a little bit more, maybe lowering your elbows down towards your thighs and sink your hips a little bit more. But again, just check in how it feels. Stay with that if you want to. If you want a little bit more, then maybe start to lower the hips and lift the hands off the legs. Again, you just work wherever it feels right to you is the right place for you to be, and you just have to be there. So finding your drishti, finding your breath. Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. We are going to come to the ground, so if you want to, you can come down anyway. If you can take your hands behind and you can have a little seat, then do that. But however you get down towards the mat, then that's the way you get down. You just need to be there. So as you come onto your mat, we're going to start in staff pose, or dandasana. So start to set it up. So you might sit on a block, you might just move kind of the fleshy parts away. Start to feel that you're engaging through all the muscles of your legs. So you might flex your feet. You can bend your knees in dandasana. You don't have to have your legs straight, but if you can, straighten your legs, flex your feet, start to feel every muscle from the back of your ankle all the way through the back of the leg and all the way through the front of the leg is engaged. So even the quads, so we draw the knees up. We lift the shoulders and we release them down your spine and we take the hands to the ground. So then it enters to the upper body. So we're now engaging through all of the muscles in the back and the front of your body, all the way through the arms, all the way up through the neck, through the crown of the head, lifts tall. And breathe there and feel the energy moving through your body. So from your feet, all the way up to the crown of your head. I'm going to keep this feeling. Oh, Dandasana. I'm going to come in for Uttanasana, so a wide leg forward fold. So when you're ready, keeping this feeling, as you inhale, we're going to lift your right leg and we're going to move it out to the side. And we're going to do the same with the left. As you inhale, just lift it out to the side. So we come into this wide leg position. Again, it does really help if you can try and sit forwards onto your sit bones. And it may need that you need to kind of manually adjust and pull your hips back to get forwards. And then from there, you have a couple of options. So you can either stay here, you can inhale and reach, and exhale and fold, or you can just start to walk your fingertips just out in front of you. And you might just take that a little way. You might move a little bit more. You just have to move into the position that suits you. And definitely bend your knees. So you have to have your legs straight. You just want to make it feel comfortable. And we're not trying to get anywhere. We're just seeing where it takes us whilst observing the sensations that you feel in your body. So it starts to feel not nice, then it's not nice, and you just back out of it. Finding a position where you can just be, you can just breathe. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to come back up. So maybe walking your hands back, take your time, roll yourself back up. And then from there, we'll bring our legs back in again. So you could draw your belly in, put your right leg in, and your left leg. So we're going to come in for a forward fold now. So again, sitting up, we're going to keep your right leg straight, and we'll bend your left leg in. It's just a variation on our kind of Janu Shirasanas, but this one has a bind to it. If you have a strap and you want to use a strap, then please have it handy. You do not have to do the bind, so I'll give you an option for that as well. So if you want to, you can just keep this left foot on the ground, right foot flexed. As you inhale, we reach up and we come to the inside of the left leg and move forward. So you can just take your hands onto either your leg, your ankle, your foot. You could use a strap here. So just have the strap around the ball of your right foot and just use that to draw you in. If you wanted to try the bind, again, you could do this with the strap and you would just have the strap just into your left hand. And then using your right hand, you could hold your left leg in place, reach forwards and then move round to the back. So you've then got a piece of kind of loose strap. You then have to go round with your right hand and try and find the other end of the strap. So the strap is in your left hand, you reach forwards and then take it round to the back. And the tricky bit is trying to find it with your right hand, but you have to find the other end of it. And then we just shorten the strap a little bit if you can. You don't have to do this, you can just stay in this folded forward position. So the addition of the bind is really in our shoulders. We're trying to open up through your shoulders a little bit. So if you're not fussed about that, then you can just fold in. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly release. So any bind, any strap that you have, rise back up. Release your legs, so give them a little shake. And then we'll come in and we'll change sides. So we'll keep your left leg straight this time. Bend your right leg in. Again, the foot is flat on the ground. And then if you want to, as you inhale, just reach up with your arms. So bringing that right hand into the inside of your right leg, move forward. So maybe placing the strap around the ball of your foot on that left leg and just drawing yourself in a little bit. If you wanted to use the strap for the bind, then place it into your right hand and then move forward as far as you can and then take that right hand round to the back. And then we just start to search for it with your left hand. And we take hold of both ends of the strap, maybe shortening it a little bit if you can. Just working with what feels best. Just breathing deeply. Well done. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up. So releasing any bind, any strap that you've got, make your way back up again. And release your legs and maybe give them a little shake. We are going to come down onto your mat. If you want to, you could use a block for the next one. So you can either do a bridge or we're going to do kind of a variation on bridge. And the block will be quite handy for this. So when you come down, we'll just lay down onto your mat. Walk your feet in so you've got your feet quite close towards your hips. And then from there, if you've got your block, just lift your hips up and then place the block underneath your hips. So that could be at any height, so it doesn't really matter what height. So you can have it low or you can have it a bit higher. And then just release your hips towards the block. So the hips just drop down. And then you can relax your arms, maybe palms facing up, relax your shoulders. So this would be kind of option one, and you can definitely just stay with this. If you want a little bit more, then you could extend through your legs. So we extend the legs away while still on the block, and it kind of bends us over the top. So Valerie, this might not be great for your back. You might want to stay with the bridge one. But if your back is okay and you like quite a strong stretch in it, then this maybe is suitable. And the other one you could do is to take your arms over your head as well. And then we've got kind of that equal weight to the front of the block and over the back of it as well. So we're kind of like a kind of a bridge, a humpback bridge over the top. But make sure it feels right. If it doesn't, rebend your legs, bring your arms over. You do what feels best to you. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, if you've got your arms over your head, then bring them over first. And then if you've got your legs straight, bend your legs and bring them in. And then if you're using the block, lift your hips and release the block. You can lower it all the way down. And you come down, we're going to do a little twist. So if you want to, you could just drop your legs over to the left side. If you want a little bit more, we'll lift the right leg and take that really close cross of the leg. So it's at the top of your thighs cross over one another. So there's no gap between your legs at all. So the legs are really close together. So it's kind of like a real lady cross of the legs. Then spread your arms and drop your legs over towards the left side. As you do that, you might turn and look along the right. And if it's too much tension in your hips and your low back, then uncross your legs. When you're ready, slowly back towards the middle. As you come into the centre, uncross your legs. Maybe use your feet here just to even your hips out. And then lifting up through your left leg, again, that big tight cross over the top of the right leg. Drop your legs to the right, maybe turn your head and look along your left arm. Again, uncrossing the legs as soon as you feel it's too much. When you're ready, slowly back towards the middle. Uncross your legs. And this time, maybe draw your knees towards your chest. You can take any final little movements here, side to side or forwards and back. And then from here, we're going to come into Shavasana, so our final relaxation. So if you do want to grab a jumper or some socks or both, then do that. Coming into a comfortable position. Finding your breath again. Past has already gone, and the future is yet to come. Concentrate on being peaceful, happy, and free in this present moment. Concentrate on being aware of each breath. Allow your attention on the breath to be continuous. Follow the breath as it begins and your abdomen starts to expand. Continue to pay attention as your abdomen rises and falls with each breath, like a child going high and low on a swing. Like a swing, your breath slows down at each end. Follow all the way as it slows down and then starts again. Embrace your breath with all your care and attention, like a mother holds her baby. Thoughts stay in the background. Enjoy the rhythmic rise and fall of your abdomen. Enjoy staying in the here and the now. Stop running forwards and backwards. Your mind keeps producing thoughts. That's its nature. Try not to follow the thoughts. Concentrate on the breath. Feel comfortable and at ease. With each breath, let go of tension somewhere in your body and your mind. Be aware that thoughts can bring tension to your face. So with each breath, maybe relax your face muscles and smile. There are sensations in your body. Just accept them. Be aware of your posture. Be aware of the rush of air around your nostrils as you breathe in. If there are sounds, try not to react to them. Just notice them and let them go. Continue to enjoy breathing peacefully. A river of feelings and thoughts is flowing, but you're not drowning in it. The concentration on the breath is like the anchor that prevents the boat from drifting. Focusing on your breath keeps you from getting lost in thought. Notice sounds and skin sensations without reacting to them. Smile at disturbances, such as memories, little itches and noises. Smiling relaxes us. Feel content. With each breath, arrive in the here and the now. Breathe comfortably. Your mind is peaceful. Your body free of tension. You're calm and rested. Feel free. Feel at home. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. Do that again if you like. Just deeply inhale and then let it go. We'll start to move a little bit through your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretching your arms over your head. And when you're ready, slowly bringing the arms over, start to bend your knees. You can keep your feet on the ground or knees to your chest, whatever feels right. If you like to roll over onto your side, then do that. And then just when you're ready, in your own time, we'll start to come up. Just finding a comfortable seat when you're ready. Bring the palms together, just in front of your heart. So just leaving a little gap, just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the spring forward practice that we did. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done. I'll stop the recording and then you can unmute yourself.